The world admires a free man not because they honor him, but because they can benefit from him. If you are easy to reach, you are slowly consumed. If you are always on call, you are eventually overlooked. If you give your time, your loyalty, and your energy without any cost attached, do not be shocked when you are treated like a cheap item in a bargain basket. There is a harsh economic rule that controls human relationships, and it does not care about your kind heart. It is the rule of supply and demand. When the supply of you is high, when you are always present, always responding, always assisting, always agreeing, the demand for you falls to nothing. You become like oxygen, necessary maybe, but free. And no one pays for air until they are gasping for breath. Niccolò Machiavelli, the student of power, understood this long ago. He warned that a ruler who is too generous, too open, and too familiar will eventually be looked down on. He is seen as soft. He is seen as ordinary, and ordinary things are replaced. You have spent your life trying to be accepted. You were taught that if you give more, you will receive more. That is not the full truth. That is the mindset taught to servants, not the strategy shared with kings. The reality is more uncomfortable. The reality is that people only value what they must invest in. They only value what they are afraid to lose. They only value what feels costly. To take back your power, you must stop being free. You must become rare in a world full of cheap options. But how do you assign value to a human being? How do you create scarcity when you still have bills and duties and people in your life? I will explain it to you. We are going to break down the psychology of value. We are going to use the rules of luxury markets and apply them to your personality. By the end of this, you will see why being slightly difficult is a strength and why being expensive is the only path to real freedom. But first, you must admit that you have been on discount for too long, and it is time to shut down the sale. There is a strange truth about value. Water is free while diamonds are costly. Adam Smith, the father of modern economics, struggled with a question that explains your entire social experience. He asked why water, which is required for life, is almost free, while diamonds, which are not necessary for survival, are extremely expensive. The answer is scarcity. Water is common. It falls as rain. It runs in rivers. Because it is everywhere, it is ignored. You wash your hands with it. You pour it away. You waste it without thought. Diamonds are rare. They are difficult to find. They demand labor, pain, and effort to bring to the surface. Because they are scarce, they are admired. People fight over them. People sacrifice for them. Now look at your own life. Are you water or are you a diamond? The agreeable man, the constant helper, the dependable friend, he is water. He supports the environment of others. They rely on him to hear their problems. They rely on him to carry the weight. They rely on him to boost their ego. But because he flows without limit, they drain him. They cancel plans at the last moment because they know he will forgive it. They pay him less because they know he will not argue. They unload their emotional mess on him because they know he is always open. He believes he is being noble. In truth, he is oversupplying the market with himself. He has created too much access to his presence. To become valuable, you must become a diamond. This means you must become unavailable to those who cannot invest in you. This is not easy. It demands that you destroy the part of you that needs quick approval. You must accept being called distant. You must accept being labeled proud. Thorstein Veblen, the thinker who introduced the idea of conspicuous consumption, observed that people show status not only by what they own, but by what they can afford to ignore. When you are expensive, you show that you can afford to lose other people's approval. You do not need constant praise to survive. That signals strength. Start now. Review your availability. How fast do you reply to messages? How often do you agree to things you secretly dislike? How much time do you spend listening to people who never check on you? Every instant reply is like handing out a voucher. Every sure, no problem is like offering a price cut. Stop doing that. Create space. Let there be silence. When you reduce your supply, people begin to feel your absence. When water stops running, nobody shrugs. They worry. They search for the issue. They are suddenly ready to pay to restore it. Be that pause. Be that drought. Think about a luxury club. Think about a high-end store like Hermes. What do you notice? There is a line outside. There is security at the door. There are limits. Now think about a giant supermarket like Walmart. The doors open on their own. The lights are bright. Everyone walks in freely. Which place commands more respect? Which one makes you dress carefully before entering? We value what makes us work. Psychologists call this effort justification. When we struggle to get something, our brain decides it must be important. When we receive it easily, our brain assumes it is cheap. You have been living with open doors. You allow anyone into your mental world. You allow anyone into your calendar. You have made yourself too easy to access. You need a barrier. You need healthy friction. Friction means being just difficult enough that low-effort people give up, while high-effort people step forward. Start with your default answer. Most people say yes unless they find a reason to refuse. Change that. Your default should be no unless there is a clear reason to accept. When someone asks for your time, do not jump immediately. Pause. Think. Sometimes let the answer be silence. Sometimes let it be maybe. Only let it become yes if it truly fits your goals. This is not disrespect. This is discipline. It shows your time is already valuable. It shows you have direction beyond serving others. Create a process of qualification. Do not let someone enter your close circle without observing them. Watch how they treat others. If they speak badly about everyone, they will speak badly about you. Keep your guard. If someone wants to work with you, make them apply. Let them wait. Let them earn the opportunity. You fear losing chances, but you will mostly lose the ones that were draining you anyway. The serious people, the ones who understand worth, will respect your boundaries. They will see protection and assume there is something important being protected. Machiavelli advised leaders to move carefully and believe slowly. Do not rush. Let people stand in line. Let them feel uncertain. That small tension increases their desire. When access is delayed, value increases. When access is instant, interest fades. You are not being cruel. You are protecting your life from being crowded by people who cannot afford it. Now consider the power of silence. Information is a type of currency. When there is too much of it, its value drops. The more you speak, the less weight your words carry. The free man tells everyone everything. He shares his history on the first meeting. He reveals his plans to co-workers. He vents to neighbors. He posts every detail online. He weakens his own position. When everyone knows everything, there is no mystery, no leverage. To become valuable, you must learn to hold back. Follow the rule of concealment. As Machiavelli wrote, people see your appearance, but few know your reality. Keep parts of yourself private. In conversations, let others talk more. Speak less. When you speak, be clear but brief. If you are making a change, state it calmly. Do not explain every detail. Explanations are often signs of insecurity. Leaders speak with certainty. Followers over-explain. When you leave gaps, people fill them with their imagination. They assume depth. They assume strategy. They see layers where there may only be calm confidence. The human mind is attracted to mystery. The most magnetic individuals in history always kept some distance. You felt close to them, but never fully inside their world. That distance is value. Stop sharing every struggle. Stop announcing plans before they are real. Let silence work for you. In quiet space, curiosity grows. When a quiet person speaks, people listen. When a loud person speaks, people tune out. Become the voice that carries weight because it is rare. Finally, guard your emotional reactions. The most valuable asset you own is your response to events. Cheap behavior is reactive behavior. Someone presses a button and you explode. Someone insults you and you break. Someone praises you and you become dependent. That is not power. That is programming. To be valuable is to remain steady. The Stoics called it inner freedom, control over your response. It is not about lacking emotion, it is about mastering it. When someone tries to provoke you, they are seeking payment in the form of your reaction. If you refuse to react, you refuse to pay. You end the transaction. In any negotiation, the calmer person usually holds the advantage. The one who appears desperate loses power. The one who sits back, relaxed and observant, becomes the prize. Machiavelli understood that a leader who loses control of his temper loses respect. Anger shows that someone else can disturb your balance. Do not give anyone that privilege. Treat your emotional energy like gold locked away. Do not distribute it to every person who knocks on your door hoping to trigger you. Stay centered. Stay composed. When others cannot predict your emotional shifts, they begin to respect your stability. They realize they cannot manipulate you easily. That is when you stop being common and start becoming rare. That is when you close the store, remove the discount signs, and set your true price, the door. If someone tries to provoke you, look at them with curiosity instead of anger. Look at them like a scientist watching a rat move through a maze. Interesting behavior. Then turn and walk away. This kind of detachment is frightening to manipulative people. They depend on your emotional reaction. They need you to owe them a response, cancel the debt, become invisible to their drama. When you are emotionally costly, people step carefully around you, not because you are cruel, but because they are unsure where you stand. They have to work to read you. They must spend energy to understand you. And the more energy they spend, the more valuable you become in their eyes. This is the sunk cost fallacy used for your advantage. If someone has spent months trying to figure you out, trying to gain your respect, trying to see your true self, they will not easily walk away. They have invested too much time and effort. You become their most expensive investment. Phase 5. The absence of necessity. The ability to walk away. The ultimate sign of a luxury product is that it does not need you to purchase it. Ferrari does not run advertisements begging you to drive their cars. They do not care if you buy one. Someone else will. And if not, the car remains in the showroom looking flawless, keeping its value. The free man is needy. He needs the job. He needs the girl. He needs the invitation to the party. And because he needs it, he has no power to negotiate. In Never Split the Difference, Chris Voss explains that neediness kills negotiation. The moment the other side senses that you must have the deal, the price drops. To be expensive, you must develop the power of walking away. You must create a life where you do not need any single person or opportunity to feel complete. This is what Niccolò Machiavelli meant when he said a prince should rely on his own arms, not the arms of others. If your financial security depends only on one boss, you are cheap. You are controlled. If your emotional balance depends only on one partner, you are cheap. You are dependent. You must spread your power. Build skills that are uncommon. Build a network that is broad. Build a mind that stands on its own. When you truly know that you can walk away from any table and still be fine, you become powerful. You negotiate differently. You talk differently. You are not pretending. You are simply stating the terms. This is my price. This is my standard. Accept it, or I leave. And you must mean it. The free man stays in toxic relationships because he fears loneliness. The expensive man leaves because he knows his solitude is more valuable than bad company. The free man accepts a low salary because he fears unemployment. The expensive man resigns because he knows his skills are a premium asset. This readiness to end the deal is what makes the deal possible. It tells the world, I am not desperate, I am choosing. When you stop needing them, they begin needing you. It is the dark irony of desire. We want the cat that ignores us, not the dog that jumps all over us. Be the cat. Sit on the high wall. Watch the world pass by. Clean your paws calmly. Let them approach you with the treats. And even then, maybe you accept them, maybe you do not. That is the posture of value. We have discussed the outer mechanics, the velvet rope, the silence, the power to walk away. But these are only strategies. They are techniques. And techniques stop working if the core is weak. You cannot pretend to be expensive forever. If you are empty inside, eventually you will break. The discount tag will show. To truly become rare, to truly become the prize, you must change the deep structure of your self-belief. You must shift the currency you trade in, because there is one final, ruthless trap that keeps you cheap. It is the need for fairness. You believe the world should be fair. You believe that if you work hard, you deserve reward. Niccolò Machiavelli would smile at that belief. The world is not fair. The world is a marketplace, and the price is rising. Are you prepared to pay it? Phase 6. The Machiavellian shift. Absence increases respect. There is a rhythm to power. It is not a constant noise. It is a pulse. The free man is a flat line. He is always available, steady, predictable. The expensive man is a heartbeat. He appears, then he disappears. He connects, then he withdraws. In the 48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene describes Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. This is the advanced form of the velvet rope. Once you have shown your value, once you have engaged them, you must step back. You must create space. Why? Because human imagination is stronger than reality. When you are always present, people notice your flaws. They see the stain on your shirt. They hear you stumble over words. You become ordinary. When you are absent, you become an idea, and ideas seem perfect. When you withdraw, people fill the silence with their own thoughts about you. They wonder what you are doing. They wonder who you are spending time with. They wonder why you do not need them at that moment. This curiosity slowly turns into admiration. He must be doing something important. He must be in demand. You are lowering the supply of your presence, and that increases the price. But this takes courage, because when you step back, your insecurity will shout, "What if they forget me? What if they replace me?" Let them try. If they replace you easily, you were never the rare gem. You were only a placeholder. Better to learn that early. But most of the time, they will not replace you. Most of the time, they will chase. Think about the musician who vanishes for a year to create an album. No posts, no interviews, complete silence. When the album finally releases, the world pays attention. Think about the employee who never stays for overtime, never joins office gossip, and leaves exactly at 5 in the evening. When he speaks during a meeting, everyone listens. Why? Because he is not part of the noise. Use this wisely. If you have been too available in a relationship, pull back. Not with anger, never with anger, but with direction. Become busy. Focus deeply on a project. Let messages wait for a few hours. Let your weekend belong to you. You are not playing games. You are adjusting the value. You are reminding them that your presence is a privilege, not an entitlement. A star that shines every night is ignored. A comet that appears once every 100 years becomes an event. Be the comet. Phase 7. Never split the difference. Zero tolerance for mediocrity. The free man compromises too easily. He splits the difference. He wants $100. The boss offers $50. He settles for $75 and believes he won. He wants loyalty. His partner offers something less than loyalty. He accepts it and calls it love. He lowers his standards because he fears losing the deal. To be expensive means refusing mediocrity. This is where you become difficult, and this is where respect begins. Steve Jobs was known for being demanding. He insisted on excellence. He would examine a circuit board that no customer would ever see and say, "It looks ugly, fix it." Was he frustrating? Yes. Was he valuable? Extremely. People want to work for someone who demands excellence. They want to be around high standards because it challenges them. If you accept trash, you become a trash can. If you demand quality, you become a leader. When you refuse to compromise on your core values, you show that you are not desperate. I do not work on weekends. I do not accept disrespect. I do not deal with liars. These are not suggestions. They are rules. When you draw a firm line, people will test it. They will push against it to see if you are serious. If you stay firm, they will respect you. If you bend, they will control you. The expensive man is ready to lose the deal rather than lower his standards. And the strange truth is that because he is ready to lose it, he often gets exactly what he wants. This also applies to how you treat yourself. Visible luxury is not only about buying expensive watches. It is about practicing high-quality habits. You cannot be valuable to others if you treat yourself cheaply. If you eat junk, sleep badly, and consume endless, mindless content, you send a message to your own mind that you are low value. Upgrade your inner system. Read challenging books. Lift heavy weights. Wear clothes that fit properly. Speak clearly and carefully. Treat yourself like a high-performance machine that needs premium fuel. When you treat yourself with respect, others follow that example. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. If you constantly insult yourself, making jokes about how you are a disaster, stop immediately. You are lowering your own worth. You would not spray graffiti on a Ferrari. Do not spray insults on your own character. Carry yourself with quiet weight, not arrogance. Arrogance is loud. Real gravity is silent. Phase 8. The luxury identity, eliminating the bargain hunter. Inside all of us lives a bargain hunter. It is the voice that whispers, "Take the safe route. Do not cause trouble. Be thankful for leftovers." This voice helped your ancestors survive. It wants safety. It does not care about greatness. To become expensive, you must silence the bargain hunter. You must adopt a luxury identity. This means changing your question from, "Can I get this?" to, "Is this worthy of me?" The free man enters a room hoping to be liked. The expensive man enters a room and decides if he likes what he sees. The dynamic shifts. You become the chooser. This is not about arrogance. It is about alignment. A puzzle piece is not superior to others. It simply has a specific shape. If it does not fit, you do not force it. When you stop squeezing yourself into cheap spaces, you naturally find the valuable ones. This requires honest evaluation. Sometimes honesty itself becomes a tool. You do not overshare. You do not explain yourself to everyone. You speak with intention. You move with intention. You decide with intention. And when something does not match your standards, you quietly walk away. No drama, no speeches, just action. Over time, this builds a reputation. People know you cannot be bought cheaply. They know access to you must be earned. And slowly, without shouting, without begging, without chasing, you become rare. You become the prize. A free man lies just to keep things calm. He says, "It's okay," even when it clearly isn't. The expensive man speaks the truth to cut through confusion. "I don't agree with this idea. This is not working for me. I expect more than this." That kind of directness is uncommon. It surprises people. It carries weight. In a world full of fake smiles and polite masks, the man who tells the truth becomes rare and valuable. People will trust you more because you are ready to risk offending them. They understand you are not trying to control them with sweet words or empty praise. You become the trusted advisor, the counselor, the quiet strategist. And the counselor is usually the highest paid person in the room. Phase 9, the ultimate price, facing the emptiness. Here is the final cost you must accept. To be expensive, you must be ready to be misunderstood. You must be prepared to walk alone. The herd is free. The sheep are free. They move in groups. They feel protected. The tiger walks alone. The tiger is rare. The tiger is expensive. When you begin applying these rules, when you put up the velvet rope, when you charge for your silence, when you refuse to settle, people will respond. Some will say you have changed. Some will say you became selfish. Some will walk away. Let them go. This is the filtering process. You are shaking sand to uncover gold. You must allow a lot of sand to slip through your fingers. The free man tries to hold every grain. He is afraid of having an empty hand. The expensive man understands that an empty hand is simply ready to hold something better. You must become comfortable with the void, the space between who you used to be and who you are becoming. In that space, it feels quiet. It feels lonely. But inside that silence, you are building your empire. You are creating a reputation. And a reputation is like a fortress. It takes patience to build brick by brick, no by no, silence by silence. But once it stands, it lasts for years. People will hear your name before they ever meet you. They will say he is not easy to deal with, he is not cheap, but he is worth the price. That is the objective. Not to be liked by everyone, but to be respected by the few who truly matter. To be the reward that must be earned, to be the investment that brings returns, to become expensive. You have a decision to make today. You can return to being free. It is simple. The doors are wide open. You can be the nice guy again. You can be the yes man again. You can keep giving pieces of yourself away until nothing remains. You will be popular for a moment. You will be used, and then you will be forgotten. Or you can shut the shop. You can raise the price tag. You can begin saying no without guilt. You can pull back your attention. You can start expecting excellence. It will be difficult. It may feel lonely in the beginning, but you will never be cheap again. You will look in the mirror and see a man with value, a man with depth, a man who controls his environment instead of begging for leftovers. The world is a marketplace. Stop handing out free samples. Make them pay the full cost, because you are the only asset you truly own. And once you are spent, you cannot buy yourself back. Be rare. Be hard to access. Be expensive. If this message opened your eyes even slightly, understand this is only what I can say publicly. There are videos I cannot share with everyone. There are parts of dark psychology that I simply cannot speak about openly on YouTube without being restricted or demonetized. The algorithm pushes down the strongest information. The real depth exists behind the join button. If you are still watching, you are different from the majority. Subscribe if you have not already. But if you want access to what is hidden, press the join button and step into the architect level. There you will unlock exclusive, uncensored videos that explore the deepest layers of the human mind. Most people will not take that step. That is exactly the point. Understand something deeper. Being expensive is not about money. It is not about brands, watches, or cars. It is about standards. It is about self-control. It is about refusing to sell your time, your energy, and your attention to anyone who has not earned it. Most men are exhausted not because they work too hard, but because they give themselves away too easily. Every random call answered, every pointless argument entertained, every distraction accepted. That is the behavior of someone who is free. Free access, free validation, free effort. The expensive man guards his focus. He protects his time like property. He does not jump every time someone demands his attention. He does not explain every move he makes. Mystery creates value. Silence builds tension, and tension creates respect. When people are not sure how available you are, they begin to measure their behavior around you more carefully. They begin to think before they speak. They begin to recognize your presence. This is not about arrogance. It is about control. Control over your emotions, control over your reactions, control over your standards. When someone disrespects a free man, he laughs it off, even when it hurts. When someone disrespects an expensive man, he addresses it calmly and directly. He does not shout. He does not beg. He simply states the boundary, and if the boundary is crossed again, he removes access. No drama, no speeches, just action. Over time, people learn. They learn that you are not easily manipulated. They learn that guilt does not work on you. They learn that pressure does not move you. And slowly, your value rises. Not because you demanded respect loudly, but because you enforced it quietly. There will be nights when you question yourself. There will be moments when the silence feels heavy. You will wonder if you were too strict. You will wonder if you pushed too many people away. That is part of the cost. Growth always feels like loss before it feels like gain. But what you lose are those who only valued your convenience. What remains are those who value your character. The herd will call you cold, the weak will call you distant, the insecure will call you arrogant. Let them speak. Their opinions are the price of your transformation. You are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to build something solid, something that does not shake when opinions change. The man who is always available is predictable, and predictable things are taken for granted. The man who is disciplined, selective, and firm becomes memorable. People remember how you made them feel. They remember the standard you set. They remember the moment you said no without apology. This path is not glamorous. It is not loud. It is quiet, controlled, and intentional. But it leads somewhere powerful. It leads to self-respect. And once you truly respect yourself, the world adjusts. Not instantly, not magically, but gradually and permanently. So decide. Stay free and easy to access, or become rare and hard to replace. Stay comfortable and slowly disappear into the crowd, or stand alone for a while and build something that cannot be ignored. The choice is yours. Every day you either lower your price or you raise it. Every day you either give yourself away or you invest in yourself. Be honest, be firm, be disciplined, be selective, be rare, be expensive.